This photo right here shows exactly why everybody is wrong about Florian Wirtz, because what he does here is magical, and you might not have even realised it. Arne Slot spent over £400 million this summer to build his dream squad, and over a quarter of that was spent on one particular German midfielder, but it's safe to say that it hasn't exactly worked out. Or has it? But I think there's more than just the stats that show Florian Wirtz has actually been, well, bloody incredible so far. And we're going to have a look today at what's been going wrong for Wirtz and how can Slot start getting the best out of him, which, by the way, includes dropping one of Liverpool's main stars, so stay tuned to see who that is. When you look at the stats from last season compared to this season, you can see there is quite clearly a drop-off. Last season, he was genuinely sensational and he warranted the price that Liverpool paid for him. This season, it hasn't quite worked out just yet. Is that because of him? Is that because of Slot, the system? We don't quite know yet, but I believe there are a few reasons why we've seen this drop off. And by the way, he does still also rank first in the league for a couple of key attacking stats, despite not having as many minutes as the other players, which I think shows that there is a talent still there. Now, when we look at the Liverpool lineup, we've seen often this 4-2-3-1 like we're so used to, with Wirtz in and out of the side. Sometimes he plays on the left, sometimes he plays in the middle. It ultimately depends on who they're playing and who's fit and what Slot decides to go with, but neither have we really seen the true quality yet that we know that he has. Now, like many elite teams, Liverpool implement these wide triangles. So in the 3-2-5 build-up or the 2-3-5 build-up, we see these wide triangles that are becoming ever so popular because of their real balance and just how good they are at helping with the build-up play. And Wirtz happens to be involved in one of them. So if we go to what Liverpool look like when they have the ball, we see them transition into a 2-3-5. Now, that means that Van Dijk and Konate are obviously sitting back, and Gravenberch is generally acting as the 6, so the middle midfielder who can drop between players, he can move around wherever he needs. But them three are the main stationary players. Everyone else has as much freedom as they want to move around. They can rotate and cause problems. But what we get from this is a left-sided triangle. And how that becomes about is when Wirtz starts off the left-hand side, he's able to tuck inside as Kerkez does the overlapping runs. Kerkez makes a movement from deeper like this, so it means that Wirtz can then come inside as he is here. And you ultimately get this wide triangle of Kerkez, McAllister and Wirtz. Wirtz on the inside, Kerkez out wide left, and then McAllister at what we call the base of this wide triangle. Now, the reason that we see a lot of elite teams do this is because, for starters, it's really good at providing balance within the attacking structure, but it also means that players can rotate in this triangle, and it makes it really hard for the opposition to pick up certain players. When they're moving around, it's really hard to know if you're tracking your man or if you stay zonal. A lot of teams find it difficult to pick up, and that's why we're seeing it more and more these days. But it also means you get good patterns of play between them, so you can see passes where it comes like this, and you get these third man combinations that again are really hard for the opponents to read, especially when you've got quality in these positions where they're able to play the right passes at the right times. And it also provides some good defensive stability as well. You get some good rest defense shape that means you can prevent counter attacks and get pressure on the ball when you lose it. However, what we need to understand is the role of Florian Wirtz within this system. And when he plays on this inside, he really needs to stay disciplined in where he wants to be. If he's playing in this left channel, because he does move into this part of the pitch, that's where he belongs, in this situation anyway. Because of his quality, he's really good with the ball at his feet. You want him to have the ball in these attacking areas. And so to provide that balance, you need him to stay in this position, especially when, say, the ball's at McAllister's feet and Kerkez and McAllister have played a bounce pass to each other. You need Wirtz to be in this position so that he can receive the ball and maybe take it on the half turn and create something, play one of these intricate passes for Ekitike to get onto. Now, the issue we're seeing with Wirtz at the moment is that he's not very good at staying where he's meant to stay. If he stays here, you could see one of the opposition centre-backs might then step out, which creates channels for passes over the top, or if this opposition centre-back doesn't step out, it means that he's got space to receive the ball, turn and work his magic, which we know he has. But when we see Wirtz moving too much, it disrupts that pattern. When he comes down here, then it means McAllister has no passing option into this area of the pitch unless someone like Ekitike drops. And then you've got no one over in this area of the pitch. So that's where we're starting to see the problems. And we saw this against Crystal Palace as well recently. So here we go. This is against Crystal Palace. And you can see the beginnings of the wide triangles. You've got, there we go, McAllister. There we go, Kirkes. What you really need is your left attacking midfielder in this wide triangle there. That's where you need him. So then you've got your wide triangle that's able to help create and combinate. Because then you've got, combine. Because then you've got 3 players here against these 3 players here. And that's how you get patterns and you get movement. So you need him to be here. And guess where he is? This is him here. What benefit is he providing by being there? Instead, if he was in his position over here, it then means you've given Chris Richards at right centre-back 2 options. So he's here. He's got 2 options. He can either step out and try and provide pressure to Florian Wirtz so that he can't receive the ball in this pocket. So then you can see a nice long ball over the top from McAllister for the likes of Isaac Ekitike to run onto. If Wirtz is here and Chris Richards doesn't step out, then look at the he's got so much space here in that little pocket. He's got so much space that he can receive the ball, turn, and then maybe he can play a nice little pass into like that or something. But he's not. He's in the wrong position. He's over here and it's providing nothing. He's not acting as any... The pass going into here doesn't do anything. It's just going to go back there and it has the same effect in the build-up. Now, the alternative is moving Wirtz central, and we have seen that. We've seen it in this kind of system where Gakpo comes in on the left-hand side. But the issue you then have with this system is you've got Gakpo, Kirkes. So there you go. There's your wide triangle already, something like that. Already much better. But both Wirtz and Ekitike want to drop into this left-hand channel. Then you've got problems, because what are you doing with all of this space over here? You're limited. And so it's causing too many problems, because they both want to drop into that left-hand channel, and Isak does the same. So you've got so many players here, and then no one over here. And so then you've got no balance in the team. And the other issue that we're seeing, actually, if we drop it back, is that let me get rid of that. Actually, let's move it on. When you get into these attacking zones, there we go, you can see the wide triangles now. Wirtz needs to be more on this right-hand side. But when the ball is at the likes of Van Dijk's feet, we know that we used to see Trent fire passes from here, from this area here, maybe Konate, Gravenberch positions, into the likes of Wirtz between the lines, where he's able to receive the ball in pockets. The issue we have now with Trent no longer at the club is you don't have a defender that's able to receive the ball in the deep areas and fire passes. You've got Van Dijk who can play long switches out wide, sure, but we don't see passes direct into the feet of Florian Wirtz. So what this means is Wirtz is dropping much deeper to try and get on the ball. But when you look at the passes received graphic for Florian Wirtz so far this season, you can see the majority of them are in deeper positions than where you'd want your number 10 to be receiving the ball. And this is again a problem we've seen in multiple games. We're going to have a look here. This is Florian Wirtz against Galatasaray. He's in the number 10 position at the moment, no problem. You're hoping maybe Gravenberch can fire a pass into him there. That would be great, but we've talked about the fact that they don't tend to do this because they just don't seem to be playing these passes when they're coming out from the back. So what does Wirtz have to do? Well, he drops deep, obviously, and here we go. He's now picked up the ball here. God, I'm starting to lose my voice. And he's surrounded by 4 Galatasaray players. So now he's no longer able to play any pass. When you consider him in this situation, who are his passing options here? Who has he got someone to pass to? Other than maybe a pass back to Konate, unless he's able to turn really quickly and play that, he's limited in who he can pass to. So in this situation, he's now put himself at risk. And the worst part about it is Wirtz loves to be the one that ties attacks together. He likes to be the creator. He likes to be the man that has that bit of flair and magic. You cannot have flair and magic in this area of the pitch, unfortunately, because here he tries to turn and receive the ball, and the problem that you get with that is that he then loses the ball, and you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Galatasaray players that are all able to move forward against Liverpool's very wide by the way, very wide, rest defence shape. So it means that there's spaces for these players to run into. And that's all come because Wirtz loses the ball. Now, in this moment, it doesn't actually come to anything for Galatasaray, but the principle still stands. And we saw it again against Crystal Palace. If we have a look here, you want your number 10... He's playing left wing in this game. You want him over here. That's just where your left winger should be. No, he's decided he's going to drop deep, again, to provide what option? All he's able to do in this situation is either pass it there, or if he's really capable, he can spin and pass it out here. That's all he's got able to do. So again, he's dropped deep to receive the ball. Yeah, that's not where you want it. You want him over here. That's where he can really use his creativity to make something happen. Not in these deeper positions. Now, I mentioned earlier that Florian Wirtz ranks first in a particular stat. And when you look at chances created, an XG in the Premier League, an XG expected goals assists in the Premier League this season, Wirtz is actually doing really well. He looks like one of the best players in the league for these metrics, and you'd actually think that he should have more assists than what he currently does. And yes, he should. When you look at some of the chances he's created for his teammates who haven't managed to put it away, that's where we're starting to see some problems, because he's putting up the numbers and it's his teammates that are letting him down. And we've actually seen one particular game where I think we saw the best from Florian Wirtz, and that's where I said it comes at the moment of dropping a certain particular player, and it involves Wirtz playing off of the right hand side. You can probably see where I'm going with this. It stops this clustering of players on the left hand side, so we no longer have the Ekitike, Isak, Gakpo, McAllister, Kirkes, Wirtz all trying to be on that left hand side. He stays on the right and you offer some more balance. That's exactly what we want. And so what I want to suggest is something that looks a bit more like this. Florian Wirtz off the right hand side. It means there's no Mohamed Salah. But Salah's not been on the greatest form recently, and Wirtz needs to find some form. So I think this is the best situation, because we saw him get a couple of assists against Frankfurt, where he was very impressive in these positions. And the reason I like this so much is it provides balance both in and out of possession. If we have a look here, this is when we get the ball. We see positions where McAllister is able to drop deeper like this. Kirkes can provide overlaps so that then you can see Gakpo come inside. But on this right-hand side, you see combinations. Pass can come into Wirtz, who can then play it into Isak, whilst he then makes a run into the channel, into the box, and you've still got Bradley providing width. It's only really what Mohamed Salah does, but you've got a right-footed player that's probably able to do it maybe slightly better than what we've seen Salah doing recently. And that's because I want to show you a goal that we saw against Frankfurt. And it was actually the goal that made it 4-1. And it all came from Florian Wirtz's magic. And this is the photo that I showed you at the start of the video. And I think it really epitomises what we get when we see Wirtz on this right-hand side. Here he is over here in a nice little pocket of space compared to Frankfurt's back. Well, these three. Wirtz has found himself in a little bit of space, and you can see here that we've got Szoboszlai carrying the ball from a central zone. Wirtz has made himself available for a lovely pass through this area here. He's kind of delaying, he's in space in case the pass gets drilled into him, but he's in a position where he's side on and ready to move if he needs to. And that's exactly what happens. Here we go. He's now, you can see if we zoom in on him a bit, he's starting to lean. He's getting ready to start sprinting. As one of the centre-backs for Frankfurt, I think it's Tiata, steps out, you can now see that Wirtz has the space. He has the chance to make a run in this direction. And that, again, that's exactly what he does. And the benefit of having the right footer on the right side is that he's then able to put this pass across the face of goal for Cody Gakpo to then get onto the end of and finish. And that's exactly what happens, and it makes it 4-1. And that's all because we've seen a lovely movement from Wirtz on the right hand side where he stayed disciplined. He recognised the position that he's in, and he stayed in that attacking zone, which is where he needs to be. And it's led to a lovely goal that, okay, the game was already won probably at this point, but I think it boosts his confidence and it boosts everything that Liverpool needed in that moment. And I would also like to show you, actually, this is the moment against Chelsea. It's nothing to do with the tactics, it just shows his quality. He takes a sensational touch. I think it's his first or second touch of the game. He receives a pass drilled into him like this, and he somehow pirouettes so beautifully, cushions the ball and just spins it and plays it into Mohamed Salah, who misses a chance from a really good zone. I think the shot comes in from about here in the end, and Salah just completely misses it. And this is a chance where I think that Florian Wirtz has created a really high XG chance that Salah has then missed. And it makes Florian Wirtz look worse because he's not got an assist when he deserves it. And the last point is defensively as well. When you look at, let me clear the board. When you look at what Liverpool look like without the ball, they can sit in this 4-4-2 mid-block, which is becoming so popular these days, with Isak and Ekitike up top, or this can vary. But it means that you've got Florian Wirtz on the right-hand side, who's capable of playing as a right midfielder. And it's better than having him in central zones. Oh, obviously, something like this. It's better than having it like that. Or it's better than having him on the left, or in the 10 playing as a second striker. I think it just provides a lot more balance and a lot more rigidity that they really, really need. And so actually, in the end, Florian Wirtz on the right-hand side could be the best move that Arne Slot could make. Take out an out-of-form Salah and put in a player that definitely has potential to do just as well on that right-hand side. But ultimately, Wirtz has too much quality. He has too much talent to not succeed, provided Slot does find some balance for him. I don't think he's going to be completely ruled out of this side. He's too good to be ruled out of this side. He just needs to stay high, he needs to stay disciplined, and do what he does best in these final third moments. And the stats will come. The assists, the goals, they will come. We just need to wait for them. But I believe that eventually we will start seeing the best out of Florian Wirtz, and he will warrant, maybe not the price tag, but he will look like a top quality player, because there's no way he doesn't succeed. He's too good for that, in my opinion. But I'm curious, what do you think of Florian Wirtz, and how do you think his life in Liverpool has started? And can Slot find a way to get him out of this slumber that he's currently in? Do you think he can prove that he is worth that £100 million price tag? Let me know down below. Or even more so, can Slot even find any kind of form for this Liverpool squad? We've seen them on a really bad run of form. So if you want to see how this team lost recently against Manchester United, then go and check my analysis out here. Or if you want to see how Chelsea managed to beat this Liverpool team in the 94th minute, go and check out this video instead. But until next time, I will see you all very soon.